Hello everybody, welcome back to Killer Film Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the TV series She-Hulk. I found that the TV series was funny at times, but at other times it seemed like the writing was very poorly written. I keep thinking back to certain scenes where it felt like the fourth wall was broken a little too much. Now, your main cast is Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk, Jamil as Tatiana, Ginger Gonzaga as Nikki Ramos, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, Josh Segarra as Pug, Tim Roth as Abomination, Renee Elise Goldsberry as Amelia. The whole series, I'm recapping everything here, so there is going to be potential spoilers, okay? I'm going to try to gradually go through everything so I don't give away too many spoilers. So the first couple of episodes, first one seems okay, but then, again, I'm saying spoiler alert, the whole part where she's tearing down Hulk, when he's trying to explain stuff, was really ridiculous in my opinion. I know you just got your powers and stuff, and I know that you're trying to place men in a somewhat weaker position with the way you wrote things. That's okay. You're free to do that as writers, but I disagree with that strongly. I think that when somebody with a similar condition is given advice to the woman that also has the same condition, that they should be listening to each other, compromising, not having one dominate over the other. That's just not right. I'd say the same thing if Hulk was trying to dominate over She-Hulk, quite frankly. I do believe in equality between the genders. I don't like it when things are skewed out of balance towards one gender or the other, which seems to be this way with the way the show is written. Now, your whole basic premise of the plot seems to be She-Hulk doesn't understand what she's doing. She doesn't understand the responsibility. She tries to ignore the responsibility of what she has with her powers now. Ends up losing her job at the law firm she was at. There's some awkward fourth wall breaks at various points, which kind of don't make sense. Now, I get this is supposed to be somewhat of a comedy, a lawyer comedy. I get that. You know, I'm a pretty smart individual myself, so I got some of the jokes, but still I found myself cringing at some certain points in the series itself. Mainly when Tatiana bursts into the courtroom. That's a spoiler or whatever. I already warned you about spoilers. Just assume I'm going to be talking spoilers throughout this because I'm trying to give a faithful review, which is kind of the balance between the ones who really hate it, the ones that really like it, that sort of a thing. But even from my perspective, this is not even a 5 out of 10 for me. This is a 4 out of 10, which would be a first for the channel, actually. A 4 out of 10. Because I could really find few redeeming factors about the show. Overall, I found the pacing to be kind of weird. I originally was reading that there was supposed to be more than 9 episodes to this whole saga. I think that could have helped in some ways to actually expand out some things. The first part of the series kind of focuses on Emil Blonsky and him in his case. She-Hulk's not sure if she wants to take the case or not, or Jennifer Walters want to use her true persona name. Basically, eventually she decides, to take the case, and then she has some fun with the She-Hulk on the dating apps because she wants to meet up with men, I guess, which is okay and dandy. I'm not gonna judge there, as I'm not a woman, and I frankly don't feel it's my place to. But she goes out on a few dates. One of them is the perfect date in every way, kind of a deal. Don't know what his motive is at first, but then you eventually learn that later on, of course. again, you know, you have this. I think that the scenes between Daredevil and her were written better than her scenes between her and other guys. One of her dates turns out to be a really bad guy. Eventually, you'll find out. I really thought that the whole series could have really just used some better writing. Some writers that actually knew what they were doing. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was unimpressed with how sappy the writing was. Like, I understand that Marvel may be in a talent struggle to produce all these shows at once, but I would say to Marvel, slow the heck down with all the shows. Produce 1 or 2 quality shows per year instead of having to produce everything under the sun. That's kind of where I'm at with Marvel, you know. We don't need a new show every month. I mean, just a new Star Wars something or a new Marvel something's good enough every couple of months. But you seem to be wanting to pump out content faster than people can consume it. So we all pretty much lead busy lives anyway. To be quite honest, we all are. You only have so much time for this and that. Going back to She-Hulk review, what kind of holds back? Why is this a 4 out of 10? It is because of the terrible writing decisions. It is due to there just not being some good flow with the whole series overall. I felt like things are kind of a little bit bouncing all over the place for some parts. I thought the therapy part was good when you eventually get to that. Do I hate the series? No, I'm just really disappointed in it because I was honestly looking forward to this for at least a good year, you know? I'm just really disappointed with the writing decisions that the writers decided to go with. And I feel like they could have done a better job. I feel like maybe they were on a time crunch to get this out as fast as possible, which I would encourage Marvel to refrain from doing in the future. Because quite frankly, it's ridiculous when you can't even have a good quality series. I mean, you had to have spent a lot of money on that CGI, for one, and then number 2, you're not even going to bother with hiring good writers. I'm not going to say all the writers are bad on this, but I felt that the writing just could have been better. Not every scene needs to be a woman putting down a guy. I mean, I get it. You want to show that She-Hulk can be independent and stuff, but there's other ways to go about her. She doesn't have to blatantly put down Bruce every time she talks to him. Because that's what it felt like with the series, that you're trying to make Hulk more of a joke than he already is. You turned Abomination into a joke, too. What happened to the fearsome monster that was beating down Hulk in The Incredible Hulk in 2009? Now we're stuck with Abomination being puny. As Ang Lee's Hulk would say puny Abomination. Because his classical line was puny human. Puny Abomination, pretty much. Don't get me started on the stupid transformation scene in the finale. Alright, we're really going to get into heavy spoiler territory with this one because I might just rant on this particular one for a bit here. Alright, so I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to click off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I warned you, now we're getting into heavy spoilers. The whole premise behind the finale, really didn't like it. Really didn't like how they chose to go about it. It felt forced in a way, you know. I kind of felt myself like I was Jen Walters looking around saying, none of this makes sense, because it really didn't. I feel like that captures the whole finale, because she's looking around saying nothing makes sense and stuff, right? And then you have this, again, heavy spoilers. You have a scene where Hulk King decides to transform and stuff, and he does his little transformation. When I look at that, I feel like they was trying to mock 2003 Ong Ling Hulk with the way they have him transform and stuff, and I just look at that and I'm a little like, even the transformation in 2003's Ong Ling Hulk was better done than that puny transformation by that by Hulk King or whatever. I'm sure the actor is pretty decent in most of his roles, but in this role he just looked like a dumb nerd that was trying to get revenge because he couldn't sit there and get with She-Hulk pretty much, and I found that to be really pathetic, to be honest. Like, when a man wants a woman, he's going to put forward the time to get her. He's going to put forward the time to get to know her. He's not going to do some weird revenge plot crap. Old fact that they tricked She-Hulk. Like, they set her up with some guy and then tricks her and then they sleep together and stuff. That whole plot line I thought was I gotta feel bad for She-Hulk in that sense. Really, I do. But so many times in this day and age, you see that kind of stuff play out where men just use women for sex and shit. You know, it's disappointing, to be honest, when that happens, you know. It's hard to really just find somebody who's decent these days, right? And it's crazy, the days we live in now. You have to really have all your things in order to really have a shot these days. But, you know, getting back to the whole thing, the whole scene where she's breaking the fourth wall and stuff, the last fourth wall break, that was okay. I felt like that was getting a little bit better compared to the previous fourth wall breaks. The whole ending that they rewrote was kind of good too, I guess. But I really feel like there should have been a filler episode somewhere in there that really explained how certain characters came to be in the plot line, rather than saving it for a movie 5 or 6 years down the road, if I'm being quite honest. I really felt that the whole plot line behind even Hulk King, you know, getting his powers and stuff was kind of weird. I didn't like how he was licking his lips or whatever when he was getting his powers. I just thought that was really weird. The guy had an unhealthy obsession with She-Hulk. Can we all agree on that? Really unhealthy. Like, when a girl says no, you move the fuck on. You don't sit there and linger and hope she changes her mind. You know? It's common sense. When a girl says no, she means no. It doesn't mean pester the hell out of her until she says yes. I mean, come on. No, I get it. In the past, that may have been acceptable, but we're in the modern age, modern era. It's not acceptable anymore to keep doing that. Okay, you gotta take things. You gotta read the signs, guys. Gotta read the signs. It's not that hard. It takes practice, but eventually you'll get it. As for could this series have been better? Yes. I would have suggested an additional episode to explain why certain characters show up toward the finale. Again, I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers here. And probably another episode maybe explaining why Hulk King decided to do all this in the first place. You know, I think what the writers were trying to go for is they're trying to show you, hey, there's a bunch of really weird guys out there that just can't get over it when they're rejected and shit. So I think they're going for, you know, with all this, you know, and this world is crazy. Women have to be on guard 24/7. It is just nuts. I'm not going to say I hate the series, but I thought that the writing could have been a little better, and some of these plot lines do make a lot of sense for why they were written in. There is a bunch of guys out there that are kind of weird and shit, and they do a lot of weird shit. I'm sure a lot of us guys know who those guys are and shit, you know, and it's just like, come on. I think for the majority of guys, we get to a point where we realize, hey, gotta grow up sometime. We gotta realize, hey, You gotta give women space. You gotta give them time. You gotta give them patience and stuff. If they say no, they mean no. Don't sit there and bug the crap out of them. I mean, come on. It ain't right. When a woman says no, she means no. Don't bug the crap out of her. Okay? Like, I don't want to see in the comments, oh, you just saying that, bro, because you don't understand women, bro, blah, blah, blah. I do understand women to a certain extent, and I do not like it when guys are being creepy as fuck. Okay? Like, that's why certain racial groups do a lot better with women than others. Because they understand that. They understand a lot of things, so 4 out of 10 for me. Poor writing. Didn't like the fourth wall breaks. I thought they were awkwardly placed. They turned a bunch of characters that were popular mainstays into jokes as well. So, how can they improve? Hire better writers, perhaps. Take more time to really think out these plot lines more when the next season rolls around, because I'm sure there's going to be a second season. If not, I'd be surprised. I'm really hoping for Loki Season 2 to come out sometime soon. Otherwise, take care until then, and I hope you found this review to be informative. I tried to really find the balance between both perspectives on the series. I hope I achieved that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next killer film review.